Good morning, good morning, good morning. No, I'm just kidding. It's not morning here. It's actually afternoon. I just got up from like this really long, sweet nap. Call me nap queen. But yeah, I got up to all my alt bags being green for a change. Actually, that's not true. Alts have been pretty sweet so far. It's just that it took a recent hit. But all of this kind of begs the question, are we in an alt run? Should we be expecting like a legitimate alt run? Well, the only way to really dissect this is to, look at the Bitcoin dominance in addition to the altcoin market cap chart and try and form a picture of what exactly is going on. Are we heading into an alt run? Well, if this is something that you're interested in, stay tuned. Okie dokie. So now if you're wondering why have we started off with the Bitcoin USD chart, honestly, in order to get a better picture of what's going on in the markets, in the crypto markets right now, we first need to determine what exactly is going on with Bitcoin. Now, I know that Sean published a video earlier today in which he kind of spoke about Bitcoin just a little in addition to Link. If you haven't already checked out that video, I'm going to include a link above. So check that one out. He did a one on ChainLink and he touched briefly on Bitcoin, but he did it on like the lower time frames. But I'm going to talk about Bitcoin on the higher time frames because in order to really understand what is going on with the altcoins, we first need to get a better picture of what is going on with Bitcoin. So now question, is Bitcoin bullish or is Bitcoin bearish? Honestly, guys, just zoom out. Look at that chart. This is the weekly chart that we're on right now. And when you look at this chart, it is extremely hard to be bearish on Bitcoin in spite of that 50, was it a 50% drop? 40% drop. Even after that drop, it is still very hard to be bearish on Bitcoin because it has still managed to maintain its levels. Now, that was a 44% drop for Bitcoin from its local high at 14K. Right? Now, I understand that some people were expecting a much more bearish move from Bitcoin going all the way down to 6K. Some people called 5K. Some people even called 1K. Now, the thing is that that's what we think Bitcoin was going to do. Question is, what does Bitcoin want to do? What is Bitcoin telling us right now? What exactly are the charts telling us right now? What is price action telling us right now? And what price action is telling me is that Bitcoin wants to range. That is the immediate picture that we're getting from Bitcoin's current price action. Now, what exactly should we look for in order to see an alt rally? I'm looking for two things, guys. I'm looking for a strong cryptocurrency market and overall cryptocurrency market, and I feel that that is determined by the strength of Bitcoin. Now, when I have to look at the strength of Bitcoin, I'm just going to zoom out on this chart. And when you zoom out on the Bitcoin chart, what do you see? Is Bitcoin looking strong? You tell me, is Bitcoin looking strong? If you ask me, I think Bitcoin's looking strong. I think we are still very much in bullish territory. I don't think Bitcoin is bearish. No, not yet. It has to break some major levels in order to actually get into bearish territory. So I'm looking for a strong cryptocurrency market. I think that's driven by Bitcoin. Is Bitcoin looking strong? I think Bitcoin is looking strong. So check on the first tick box. Second thing I'm looking for is Bitcoin in consolidation. Now, I understand that the term consolidation is kind of thrown around quite loosely in the cryptocurrency market, but let's substitute that with another term. Instead of consolidation, I'm going to use volatility. I'm going to use low volatility. Essentially, what I mean by that is that I don't want to see volatile moves on Bitcoin. Now, volatile moves could be volatility to the upside or volatility to the downside. I'm essentially saying that I want to see Bitcoin sort of range. It can even trudge up slightly. It can even trudge down slightly, but nothing too volatile. I don't want to see a high volatility move. I want to see it consolidate, and that's what they mean by consolidation. They're essentially talking about volatility. They're looking for Bitcoin to be in a very low volatility range for some time, and that's what they mean by consolidation. So now, is Bitcoin giving us a sign that it wants to consolidate for a while? Well, you tell me. I mean, we have been ranging from the 8,700 level all the way down to the 7,700 for some time now. I think a couple of weeks, right? According to this weekly chart. So, I mean, I think it's giving us a sign that it wants to kind of consolidate for a while until it does not give us a sign, or until it kind of takes that back. It takes back some major levels, or it loses some major levels to the upside or the downside, essentially meaning that we have an increase in volatility. But for now, we don't. Now, Bitcoin wants to range. So I think Bitcoin wants to consolidate, so we'll do it check on that second tick box as well. So we have a strong crypto market determined by BTC's strength. BTC is looking strong on the higher time frames. In addition to, we have a tick on our second tick box in that Bitcoin looks like it wants to consolidate. And so now that we have a semi-decent visual on what Bitcoin wants to do, let's pan on to the altcoin market cap chart to see what it wants to do. Now there's something very, very interesting going on this chart, and I want to bring your attention to it. So now this is the altcoin market cap chart on, I believe this is the 3-day. Let's actually go down to the 1-day. Let's go granular. God, 1 day's now become granular for me. Like, dude, there are some people that play like the 1-minute charts on Bitcoin and other freaking alts. I don't know how they do that. It drive me freaking crazy. But yeah, this is the altcoin market cap chart on the daily. Now, this wedge, I am not going to take credit for this. I did not find this. I actually found this person on Twitter, and his name's Dave the Wave, I believe, and he drew my attention to this pattern that is playing out on the altcoin market cap chart on the daily, that can be seen on the daily as well as the 3-day. Now, what can we see here? Well, this is a bullish descending wedge. And when I caught it for the first time, I believe this was around earlier this month or later last month. And yeah, and what do you know, I was already heavily invested in alts at the time. I was already playing it when I came across this chart, and I guess that just kind of strengthened my conviction that, hey, you know what, we may very well be heading into a mini alt cycle, or maybe a full-fledged alt cycle, who knows. And then when I saw this, I'm like, we could head into a full-fledged alt cycle if this pattern does in fact play out. Now, if you kind of do the measured move for this pattern, right, if we kind of just take the measured move all the way from the head, all the way to the bottom of the channel, of the descending wedge, and say for the sake of this, we say it breaks today. I mean, it really looks like it wants to break today, but say it does break today, okay? Where do we go? What is the measured move for this pattern? What is that? About a 60%? 61%. 61% move, guys. Like, that's freaking insane. If you kind of really have to zoom in to see how I guess the index price of the altcoins have performed in relation to this pattern. But what I am seeing right now is, well, this descending wedge actually being respected on the altcoin market cap chart. And not just that, a lot of the altcoins right now, if you just go and pan onto their charts, they're actually kind of respecting this. They're all green right now. A lot of them are running. Take Link, take Matic, everything's running right now. And if we break this channel, that's a 60% move to the upside. We could see a mini alt cycle come in, or a full-fledged alt cycle come in. Who knows? But right now, we are still in the wedge. I think that should be noted. We are still very much in the wedge. We could very well get rejected here. And now the only way to determine whether or not we get rejected here at the top of the trend line of the descending wedge, well, is to just pan over onto our Bitcoin dominance chart and see what it is doing. Does Bitcoin dominance look like it wants to go back up? And it going back up means Bitcoin is going to start trending again. And, well, if it wants to trudge down, well, then something else is trending in relation to Bitcoin. And what other than, well, altcoins. So let's pan on over to our Bitcoin dominance chart to see what it is doing. Okay, so now here is our Bitcoin dominance chart. Now, before I kind of get into the analysis of this chart, let me kind of highlight something. So, like I said, now if this Bitcoin dominance is indeed dropping, right, or if we see like a further drop of Bitcoin dominance, now it's either that the alts are trending relative to, well, Bitcoin, or well, Bitcoin wants to go down, or it is going down rather. But as things stand right now, it is the former than the latter. Bitcoin is in a state of consolidation, right? So that's low volatility sideways movement. And, well, alts are running, as we can see right now at this very point in time. It is the 14th of October, and alts are running today. Bitcoin is going sideways, and, well, Bitcoin dominance is dropping, so which means that alts are running in relation to Bitcoin. So now I want to dissect this chart, and I remember bringing up this chart in one of my past videos, in that I highlighted a potential bearish head and shoulders. Now I kind of briefly want to go over that because that has actually morphed into something else. So the way I look at this is that, well, the head and shoulders that I highlighted in my previous video actually got negated. We got rejected right here off the neckline of the bearish head and shoulders, right? What I was looking at the last time was I was looking at the Bitcoin dominance chart in relation to, well, the Ichimoku cloud, and I said that, hey guys, if we manage to break that neckline, the measured move of this bearish head and shoulders is going to bring the dominance all the way down to the bottom of the cloud. And I said, holy shit, that was freaking amazing. Look at that confluence. But turns out that, you know what, the Bitcoin dominance price action did get rejected off of that neckline. So we did not end up breaking it. But what have I said about formations in that if it does not meet its measured move, or say it does not break at all, it does not break that neckline, it more often than not, it just kind of morphs into something else. And what do we have here? Has it morphed into anything? Ask yourself, has it morphed into anything? Well, the only thing I can see is this. Right here. Do you see that? Now, what is that? Now, this is like the stinger right here. Because this is where things get a little, makes you think, what exactly is happening? So we see that Bitcoin has sort of morphed into this descending wedge. And what have we said about descending wedge? I mean, we have a descending wedge happening on, well, I highlighted one yesterday or day before yesterday on the Bitcoin USD chart. This is the actual price chart. I said that, hey, maybe from the descending triangle, we've morphed into a descending channel, right? And now when I panned on over to the altcoin market cap chart, I showed you a bullish descending wedge. And now what is this, guys? What is this? This is also a bullish descending wedge. And what do we have here? We see that Bitcoin actually got rejected off of the top of the trend line and is making its way down. Now this, like I said, is still a bullish pattern on a technical standpoint. We do not know what Bitcoin wants to do. I mean, we could very well come all the way down here only to bounce back off of it and break to the upside. And what does that mean? If that happens, that means Bitcoin USD is probably going to end up running to the upside. Or well, alts stop running and alts take a dip. I mean, I don't see alts taking a dip unless BTC wants to take a move to the upside. So I mean, it could be either or right now. But as things stand, this is a bullish pattern. Where are we in respect to the cloud? Well, let's see that. If we actually take the measured move. So right now, the Bitcoin dominance price action, we're just going to denote it as price action because I honestly don't know what else to denote it as. Candles, I don't know, candles sound lame. But yeah, let's just call it the Bitcoin dominance price action. So if you kind of look at this, we are like in bearish territory. We have a bearish TK cross, the Bitcoin dominance price is in the cloud. Well, the cloud is still green, but where does the measured move take us? Let's say we break to the upside. If we take the measured move of this sort of descending wedge and say we break somewhere here, man, we are so close to the apex of this. It's crazy. We break here. Where does it take us? It takes us pretty much back to the local high of the Bitcoin dominance, which is sitting at about 73.50. And if, say, Bitcoin breaks to the downside, right? If we do break this descending wedge to the downside, where does it take us here? Now, this I found interesting because there's a bit of confluence in this area if it does break down. Now, if it can only break down if it kind of follows the momentum of the overall trend of the intermediate trend, right? And the intermediate trend of Bitcoin dominance right now is leaning bearish. So now if this does end up breaking down, say alts do have a rally, Bitcoin trudges sideways for a bit, and this descending wedge does end up breaking down, that actually brings us to something very interesting. I'm just going to put on my daily 200 moving average, right? And what do we have here, guys? That measured move will bring us down to the daily 200 moving average. Okay, so essentially, if we manage to bounce off of this bullish descending wedge on the Bitcoin dominance chart, that pretty much means that we're probably likely going to get rejected on the upper trend line of the altcoin market cap chart only to make our way down. That is if we get rejected on the Bitcoin dominance chart. However, if we break down You know what that means, guys. You know what that means. That means likely, if given the current setup of Bitcoin and the altcoins, that means we are likely, altcoins are likely going to break on this wedge. It is going to break to the upside. That was the only thing that could push the Bitcoin dominance to the downside. And maybe the only other thing that could push Bitcoin dominance to the downside is, well, if Bitcoin USD takes a dump. And, well, the altcoins take a dump too. But yeah, that's the only other thing I see pushing Bitcoin dominance to the downside, and, well, altcoins to the downside as well. However, the likely scenario right now, given the current setup, is Bitcoin either, well, bouncing, the Bitcoin USD bouncing, going up, which would lead Bitcoin dominance to go up, which would lead the altcoins on this descending wedge to maybe take a slight dip, right? Or the altcoins take a freaking rally. We break up, we break this bullish descending wedge to the upside, bringing Bitcoin dominance down, breaking the wedge to the downside, which means this may end up in a mini alt rally. However, this is all premature right now. We got to kind of keep our eyes out on all these patterns that are playing out right now. Keep an eye out on the Bitcoin dominance, keep an eye out on the altcoin market cap, keep an eye out on Bitcoin USD. These are all pieces of the puzzle. We bring it together to make an informed decision on all our holdings. So yeah, with that said, trade safely, trade stress-free, trade the mango way, trade the easy way. Guys, don't get scared out of your positions. Remember, information is power. Take the information, put the pieces of the puzzle together, and trade well. Be safe, guys. Ciao.